From the first day Aarzoo stepped into the government school of her small town, she knew something wasn't right. Her uniform was a little too faded, her shoes too worn out, and her voice far too soft to be noticed. At just 13, she walked with hunched shoulders, afraid to make eye contact, because the world had already taught her one thing: the quieter you are, the safer you are. Or so she thought. Every morning was the same. She'd stand alone by the rusted gate, clutching her thin bag with both hands, trying to avoid the eyes of her classmates. But the eyes found her anyway. And with them came the words. Deko deko, garib ki beti aa gayi. Ari, ye wahi fati hui bottle leke aayi hai. Ye ladki school kyun adi hai. Isi to roti banana chahi. The laughter always came in waves, loud, cruel, and unrelenting. It echoed through the corridors, into her ears, and deeper into her soul. But she never said a word. Not when they hit her tiffin. Not when they scribbled on her books. Not even when a boy named Samir once pushed her so hard that she fell in the mud, and everyone laughed till tears rolled down their faces. She washed her uniform herself that night, scrubbing the stains with broken soap. Her hands bled a little. But she didn't cry. She'd stopped crying a long time ago. After her father died in an accident, her mother had taken up work as a housemaid. Life became about survival. There was no time for weakness, and yet, that's all people saw in her. Weakness. But no one knew the fire Aarzoo carried within. A fire that hadn't been lit yet, but when it did, it would burn every word, every insult, every laugh they had thrown at her. One day, after another humiliating prank where the girls in her class locked her in the school toilet for an hour, Aarzoo sat behind the school building, her eyes staring blankly at the ground. Her hands trembled, her lips quivered. But something in her heart whispered, enough. That evening, as she walked home, she saw a group of kids doing karate in a local park. Their instructor, a tough woman in her 30s named Meena Didi, barked commands as they kicked and blocked with power. Aarzoo stood still, mesmerized. For the first time in her life, she saw strength that wasn't about cruelty, it was about control. Discipline. Confidence. The next evening, she came back. And the next. And the next. Until Meena Didi finally noticed her. You keep watching every day, she said sternly. Why don't you join? Aarzoo hesitated. I don't have money. Meena Didi looked at her, really looked at her. She saw the bruises, the silence, and the sadness. You have pain, she said. Turn it into power. Come tomorrow. You don't need to pay. That night, Aarzoo couldn't sleep. She felt something stir inside her, not hope exactly, but maybe the beginning of it. The next evening, she wore her school PE dress, tied her hair back tight, and stepped onto the mat. The first few days were hard. She kept falling. Her body wasn't used to discipline. Her legs ached, her hands shook. The others laughed sometimes, but Meena Didi never did. You will fail. Again and again, she said. But one day, you won't. And that day, they will fear your strength. For the first time, someone believed in her. And so, the girl who was too scared to speak began to fight. Quietly. Fiercely. Every evening after school, she trained. Kicks, punches, stances, forms. Her body changed, became sharper, stronger. Her mind, too. Meanwhile, school remained a war zone. The bullies didn't stop. If anything, they got worse. One day, Samir cornered her again in the corridor and pushed her. But this time, Aarzoo didn't fall. She looked him in the eyes and said calmly, push me again, and you'll regret it. Everyone went silent. Samir laughed, Oi, abyahumian damki deji. She didn't respond. She didn't need to. Weeks passed. And then came the school's annual sports week. This year, a local martial arts demo was added. The school announced a small tournament, open to girls too. Aarzoo signed up quietly. Everyone mocked her, especially the popular girls, Sania, Neha, and Pooja. 2. Karate. Ari ye to balbi nahi pakad sakti. Shayad choti dress pen kuayi hogi, shayad usi jeet mile. Bai, sympathy champion Banegi Yato. But Aarzoo said nothing. The day of the tournament arrived. The school grounds were packed. Teachers, parents, and students all around. A temporary stage was set. The matches began. Aarzoo's name was announced. Her first opponent, Sataya. People giggled as she stepped into the ring. But when the match began, the giggles stopped. Aarzoo moved with speed and precision. Block. Step. Kick. Strike. Sataya didn't know what hit her. In less than 2 minutes, Aarzoo scored the winning point. The crowd went silent. Next, Puja. Then Neha. Each time, Aarzoo fought with calm fury, not revenge, but purpose. Her punches carried years of humiliation, her kicks powered by the weight of silence. By the time she stood in the final round, against a senior girl, 2 years older, the crowd wasn't laughing. They were watching. Closely. Anxiously. The match was intense. Fast. Aggressive. But Aarzoo didn't panic. She remembered Meena Didi's words, breathe. Center. Then strike. One final moment. Her opponent charged. Aarzoo spun. Side kick. Direct hit. Point scored. The referee raised her hand. Winner, Aarzoo. For a second, no one moved. Then, cheers erupted. But not from the bullies. From the silent ones. The unnoticed ones. The ones who, like her, had always felt invisible. She looked up at the crowd, her heart racing, sweat dripping from her forehead. And for the first time, she smiled. Not because she had won, but because she had become someone who could. As she walked off the stage, the principal called the medal still hung on the rusted nail near Aarzoo's bed. Silver and shining in the dim light of their one-room home. Her mother looked at it every night before sleeping, her hands folded in silent prayer. It wasn't just a trophy. It was proof that her daughter, the same girl people mocked, was becoming something greater. But Aarzoo, she didn't let it get to her head. Her morning still began before sunrise, her feet still blistered from training, and her mind was sharper than ever. But the world had changed. A little. The same students who used to laugh now walked by in awkward silence. The teachers who ignored her now called her Beta. Even Principal Sharma, who once told her to focus on studies, not fighting, had recommended her for the district-level karate trials. It was all happening. Her dream of becoming a national athlete was finally breathing. But not everyone liked her rise. Samir, the boy who once pushed her into the mud, couldn't accept that Bichari Aarzoo was now the school's pride. His ego burned every time someone clapped for her, every time her name was praised in the assembly. And slowly, that burning turned into something darker. Jealousy. Hatred. One day, in the corridor, Samir stopped her again. But this time, not with a push. Champion ban Gayi to kia. Akad to deko iski, he sneered. She didn't reply. I've been here 5 years, and no one ever clapped for me, he growled. Ek choti si ladki aayi, or hero ban Gayi. Still, she walked past him. Calmly. But the silence broke something in him. And what came next would test Aarzoo more than any fight ever could. A few days later, the school held its interzone selections. A chance to qualify for the All-State Girls Karate League. Aarzoo was the top pick. Meena Didi had trained her harder than ever, and Aarzoo had learned not just how to fight, but how to feel her opponent's energy. How to stay calm even when fists were flying. She had grown not just in strength, but in spirit. But the night before the match, something happened. A video. Someone had taken a blurred clip of her from the tournament, twisted it, edited it, and added vulgar music in the background. It was uploaded anonymously from a fake account. In the caption, Champion Yanatanki. Deko Asli Roop. By morning, the whole school had seen it. The snickers returned. The whispers. Girls giggled in corners. Boys smirked when she passed. Aarzoo walked to class with trembling steps. She couldn't even meet Meena Didi's eyes when she arrived for training that afternoon. But Didi already knew. Let them laugh, she said firmly. You've fought worse battles. This is noise. But it's not just noise, Aarzoo whispered, her voice breaking. It hurts. Didi put a hand on her shoulder. Then let it hurt. But don't let it stop you. That evening, Aarzoo trained with more fire than ever before. She hit the bag so hard her knuckles bled. But she didn't stop. Not once. The next day, at the interzone competition, Aarzoo stood tall. She wore a simple white gi, no medals, no makeup, just purpose. Her name was announced. The crowd murmured. Some recognized her from the video. But she didn't care anymore. Match after match, she struck like lightning. Her reflexes were sharp, her focus unbreakable. And by the end of the day, she stood on the podium. Gold medal. District champion. The fake video? Forgotten. But the darkness wasn't done with her. When Aarzoo qualified for nationals, the stakes grew higher. She was now representing not just her school, but her whole city. Sponsors began taking notice. Journalists came to interview her. And with the fame, came danger. Samir and his group couldn't digest it. One night, on her way back from training, they followed her. She noticed too late. They cornered her near an alley and threatened her. You think you're famous now? Samir hissed. We can end that in a second. Aarzoo backed away, but he grabbed her bag and threw it aside. She looked into his eyes. And this time, she didn't walk away. Try it, she said coldly. But you'll need more than 5 boys to stop me now. Samir laughed, but nervously. He saw the calm in her face. The steel in her spine. Before he could touch her again, she stepped forward, fast, precise, and twisted his wrist with a lock she had practiced 100 times. He yelped in pain. His gang hesitated. I could break it, she said quietly. But I won't. Because I'm not like you. She released him. I'll win because I trained, she continued. You'll lose because you rot in your own hate. Then she walked away. That night, she reached home shaking. Not out of fear, but out of strength. Her mother sat beside her and whispered, You've become more than I ever dreamed you could be. The nationals were a week away. Thousands gathered from across the country. The stadium in Delhi was massive, filled with banners, lights, cameras. Aarzoo stood with her team, her heart thudding. This was it. The biggest stage. And her biggest fear? Not the opponents. But, failing. What if I lose, she whispered to Didi. Didi smiled. Then lose like a lioness. Not like a girl who was once afraid. Her first match. Brutal. A girl from Punjab, aggressive, loud, fast. But Aarzoo used her mind. Watched. Moved. Waited. Then struck. And won. Second round, tougher. Third round, blood on her lip. Finals. It was storming outside. Rain hit the stadium roof like a drumbeat. Inside, the match began. Her opponent. National favorite. 3-time winner. Aarzoo's legs shook. Her arms trembled. But then she remembered every insult. Every push. Every laugh. Every lonely night. And suddenly, her body stilled. The match lasted 5 minutes. It ended with a spinning back kick, clean. Point scored. The crowd stood up. The referee raised her hand. Winner, Aarzoo Khan. National champion. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She just closed her eyes and smiled. That was the story of the girl everyone mocked. The one they called weak. Dirty. Poor. That same girl, Aarzoo Khan, stood tall on the national stage, not just as a fighter, but as a symbol. A symbol that you can break bones, but not spirit. You can spread lies, but not silence truth. If you've ever been told you're not good enough, remember her. Remember that champions are not born in stadiums. They're made in silence. In pain. In resistance. And if Aarzoo's journey touched even one part of your heart, please, like this video. Comment your thoughts. And subscribe to this channel for more such powerful, real, and emotional stories. Let's spread strength. Let's inspire. Because somewhere out there, the next Aarzoo is watching.